Let's set the scene. Your kid just threw a marker across the room because you asked them to turn off the TV. Again. You freeze. You breathe. You channel every parenting book you've ever skimmed and say, okay, that's a timeout. Now they're sitting on the bottom stair, arms crossed, eyes shooting laser beams at the hallway wall. You're pacing in the kitchen, wondering if this is discipline or just glorified sulking. Here's the truth. Timeouts? They often don't work the way we think they do. They're supposed to be a tool for reflection. A way to cool down and think about what went wrong. But for most kids, especially under 10, timeouts feel like punishment. Isolation. Power play. And if you've ever watched a child emerge from one more defiant than when they went in, you already know, it doesn't fix the behavior. It just buries it. So in this video, we're breaking down why traditional timeouts backfire and what actually works instead. Let's dive in. First things first, let's unpack what timeouts were meant to do. Originally, they were a step up from spanking. The idea was, remove the child from the situation, give them time to cool off, reflect, and re-enter when they're calm. And in theory, that's not a bad idea. But in real life, here's what often happens. Kids don't sit there thinking, I made a poor choice. They sit there stewing. Or crying. Or silently planning their next move. Meanwhile, you're in the other room trying to ignore the guilt tornado building in your chest. And when they come back, they haven't actually learned anything new. They might behave better for a while, but it's often out of fear, not understanding. So what's the goal of discipline, really? It's not control. It's not punishment. It's teaching. We're helping our kids learn how to handle big emotions, solve problems, and make better choices next time. And that's where timeouts often miss the mark. They isolate kids when what they really need is connection plus guidance. So let's talk about what to do instead. We're going to walk through 5 real alternatives to timeouts that actually help your child grow. Strategy 1. The time in. This one flips the idea of isolation on its head. Instead of sending your child away when they're struggling, you invite them in. A time in means sitting with your child in a calm space, staying nearby as they ride out the storm. No lectures, no guilt trips, just presence. You say something like, I see you're really upset. I'm here. When you're ready to talk, I'll listen. You're not rewarding bad behavior. You're showing your child that emotions aren't scary or shameful. You're building emotional safety, because kids don't learn well when they're scared or disconnected. And here's the magic. Once the storm passes, they're more open to conversation. That's when the real learning happens. Strategy 2. The repair chat. Once your child is calm, don't skip the follow-up. This is where you teach, not by preaching, but by talking. Use 3 simple questions. 1. What happened? 2. What were you feeling? 3. What can we do next time? This gives your child the tools to name emotions, recognize triggers, and come up with better strategies. It's not about blame. It's about practice. Like emotional push-ups. Even little kids can handle this when it's done gently. And it sticks way better than, go to your room and think about what you did. Strategy 3. The pre-frame. One reason kids spiral into misbehavior is because they don't know what's coming or what's expected. So instead of only reacting to problems, you start predicting them. You guide your child before the moment. Let's say you're about to go into a store. You say, when we go in, I expect kind hands and calm voices. If it gets too wild, we'll take a break outside. Boom. You've set the expectation, offered a boundary, and built in a calm-out plan. This doesn't guarantee perfect behavior, but it sets the stage for success. And when kids know what to expect, they're less likely to push boundaries just to figure out where the edge is. Strategy 4. The calm corner. This is not a punishment zone. Think of it more like a kid-sized mental health nook. Create a space with soft pillows, sensory toys, calming books, or even headphones with soft music. It's not where you send your child, it's a space they can choose to go when they feel overwhelmed. You say, "You're allowed to feel upset. Let's go to the calm space and figure it out." Over time, they start going on their own. And suddenly, you've helped your child learn emotional regulation, not through force, but through trust. Strategy 5. Modeling. This one's sneaky, but powerful. When you get frustrated, narrate what you're doing. Say, "I'm feeling really irritated right now. I'm going to take a few breaths before I respond." Your child sees that everyone has big emotions, and that they're manageable. Kids learn how to regulate by watching us. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to show the process. Now, let's address the elephant in the parenting room. But what if they're out of control? What if they hit or scream or throw? Boundaries still matter. Connection doesn't mean chaos. You can hold the line and still be respectful. You say, "I won't let you hit. I see you're angry. Let's find a safer way to show it." You gently remove the object. You guide the behavior. You stay calm while holding firm. That combo, clear limits plus emotional support, is the sweet spot of positive discipline. And no, it doesn't always work in the moment. But it works over time. Because kids are learning. And so are we. So let's rewind. Why don't timeouts work? Because they often isolate instead of teach. Because they shame instead of support. Because they stop the behavior, but don't build a better one. And what works better? Time-ins, repair chats, pre-framing, calm spaces, modeling. All rooted in connection. All designed to help your child build real skills. You're not raising a perfectly obedient robot. You're raising a human who can manage their emotions and grow from mistakes. That takes time. And it takes tools. If this helped you breathe a little easier today, tap that like button. And if you want more practical tools for real-life parenting, subscribe and join the village. And hey, if you've ever had a timeout backfire hilariously, drop it in the comments. I'll read my favorites in next week's episode. You've got this. And your kids? They're lucky to have someone who's not just managing behavior, but building a lifelong connection. Thanks for watching.